Hi guys, it's me again. And if you notice, I'm wearing exactly the same outfit with the same hairdo. What I'm doing is a marathon of videos. Okay, so today we're gonna study, as I told you before, the tax multiplier. Okay, so let's start. You already know that the tax is gonna be taken from your income, so it's gonna decrease your disposable income. Okay? Not. So you take the income, you take off the tax, and you have the disposable income. So if I add the tax, what's gonna happen to your disposable income? I have it here. It's gonna decrease. Okay? So if you decrease the disposable income, automatically you would decrease your C function. So when we add the taxes, we actually have less money to dispose of, which means my consumption function decreases. That was the older chapter. Okay, so now we're gonna see if you have an equilibrium, what's gonna happen to that equilibrium if you add the taxes. Is it gonna decrease by the tax level? I don't think so. We also have a tax multiplier. So to understand it, what I'm gonna do is not increase the taxes, I'm actually gonna decrease the taxes. So if you decrease the taxes, your consumption is gonna increase because you're gonna have more money to dispose of, okay? So let's see, follow with me. So I had this disposable income here. This is my disposable income. And then the government decreased the taxes. That means that my disposable income now is increasing, okay, by the amount of the decrease in tax. So this is what's given to me due to tax. Due to tax. It's not the tax, it's actually the contrary of the tax. So instead of the government imposing a tax, the government here told me you're going to pay less taxes. So I'm decreasing the taxes so that it increases my income, increase in income due to the tax. I hope you follow me. Okay, so you're not paying tax anymore. So you're increasing your income by that amount that that you're not giving to the government anymore. Okay, is that increase in income, is it all gonna go to the GDP? Let's see what's gonna happen. So I'm looking for the change in GDP due to the tax decrease. So am I gonna add the whole increase in taxes and then see the effect of it? No. The problem here is that when you add the taxes to your income, you're not going to put all the tax into consumption. You're only going to put the consumption part of it, okay? So what's going to be in your consumption is only one part of the tax that you're going to calculate as MPC times delta tax, okay? Because another part is going to go to saving, as your income is divided between consumption and saving. So the part that is not going to count is this part, that is MPS times delta T. This one is not going to go to consumption. So you're not going to have the effects of the whole tax, but only MPC of it, okay? So MPC times the tax is going to go to consumption. That means you're going to buy something with it, isn't it? So I'm going to add it to the GDP. So I'm going to add MPC. I'm sorry, there is a fly here. MPC times delta T. You're going to buy something with it. Okay, so you bought something with it. You bought it from somebody. Somebody received money, received MPC times delta T. what is that person gonna do with it? That person is gonna consume MPC of whatever money they received, which is MPC times tax. So they're gonna consume meaning buying something. So we're gonna add it to the GDP plus MPC times the money they received. That's what they're gonna consume. MPC times delta T. Okay, so they buy from somebody something to consume. That person is going to receive MPC times delta T. What is that person going to do with it? Again, consume MPC of it. So it's going to consume MPC, consume meaning buying. So it has to be in the GDP. MPC times MPC times MPC, 3 times, yeah, MPC of it times delta T. Okay? Plus, okay, that person again is going to consume MPC of it. Again is going to consume, the other person is going to consume MPC of whatever it received. So it's going to go this way, just like we've seen before, times MPC to the power n times delta T. Okay? So, your change in GDP due to the tax, due to the tax decrease is equal, I'm going to rewrite it, MPC times delta T plus MPC square times delta T plus MPC to the cube times delta T plus MPC to the power n times delta T. Okay, now we're going to put delta T in common, okay? So delta GDP due to T is equal to delta T times MPC plus MPC square plus MPC to the cube plus MPC power 4 plus. I'm just going to continue till MPC power n, and I'm done. This is your tax multiplier. Okay? But it's not equivalent to your expenditure multiplier. The expenditure multiplier started with 1 plus MPC plus. Okay? So we're going to try to use the expenditure multiplier to find the tax multiplier. Let's see how we're going to do it. So I'm going to continue. Delta GDP due to T is equal to delta T times, I'm going to take off 1 MPC to put it in common, okay? So that I have the expenditure multiplier. I'm going to put MPC in common also. MPC times, so now it becomes 1 plus MPC plus MPC square plus MPC n minus 1. Okay? MPC n minus 1 or MPC n, it's the same thing here. For the simple reason it tends to infinity, and as it is a fraction, a ratio, it's going to go towards the 0. So I can apply the same formula I applied for in the expenditure multiplier. So this here is actually your expenditure multiplier. And here is your MPC, here is your delta T, delta GDP due to T. And what is your tax multiplier? Your tax multiplier is the whole thing. Here is your tax multiplier. Okay? Take a screenshot, and now I'm gonna use it. Okay? I'm gonna actually take here, write it down. Do I have a paper here? Yeah, here it is. Take a screenshot, I need my board. And now we have our tax multiplier. Tax multiplier is always smaller than the expenditure multiplier. Okay, let's try. Because for the expenditure multiplier, you always start with the change, all the change you have in investment or in government. For the tax, you don't start with the whole change. Part of that change is going to go to savings, so it's out. We only start with MPC of the change. You got it? Okay, tax multiplier is equal to MPC times the expenditure multiplier. Expenditure, it's with an E. Expenditure, I think it's an E. Expenditure multiplier. This is to avoid my spelling mistake. Expenditure multiplier. Clear? Now, I'm going to give you the rule to find the GDP, okay? Take a screenshot because I need my board. Here we go. Let me just check if I'm recording. If I'm not, yes, I am recording. Okay, guys. So, how are you going to find the new GDP? Okay. First, you need delta T. Okay. Once you find delta T, you need delta GDP due to T, which would be your delta tax times the tax multiplier. Okay? Once you find your delta GDP T, you're going to have one rule. So the new GDP, I'm going to write it in red. Oh, you don't see well in red. Okay, so I'm going to write it bigger. The new GDP is equal to the old GDP, your departure points, plus delta GDP due to the investments, plus delta GDP due to government, minus delta GDP due to tax. Remember, when the investment increases, the GDP increases. When the government expenditures increase, the GDP increases. But when the tax increases, the GDP decreases, and vice versa. So I need a negative sign here. Minus delta GDP due to T. Okay? I hope you understood. Now we're gonna need a little example. So I'm gonna use the example, the exercise we have done last time. I have my data over here. So I'm gonna application. Example, I'm gonna give you two questions. Question 1, determine GDP at ET1, GDP at equilibrium for tax 1, where I is equal to 200, IET1 is equal, not 200, 2000, and GET1 is equal to 2000, and T tax ET1 is equal to 2000. I kept the same number on purpose, and I'm going to calculate it from BEP. From BEP, where everything was set to 0. Okay? The BEP I had was GDP at BEP. At BEP was 8,000. Okay? The I at BEP is 0. The G at BEP was 0, and the tax at BEP was 0 because we already gave it. So we paid it. Okay. Now we're going to see what's going to happen. Same rules. We're going to calculate the deltas. Okay? Now I wrote this one first. This is the new, and this is the old. I had earlier the expenditure multiplier was equal to 8. Now I need to calculate the tax multiplier because I have tax now. I'm sorry, tax multiplier is equal to MPC times expenditure multiplier. Okay? So tax multiplier is equal, MPC was the slope of the C function. It was 7/8. If you have troubles following, please go back to the previous video, okay? 7/8 times 8, which is going to give me 7. That's your tax multiplier, okay? Now let's move to calculate. I'm going to use another pen because this one doesn't write anymore. Okay, I'm going to start with delta I. Delta I is equal to I ET1 minus I BEP, which is equal to 2000 minus 0, which is equal to 2000. Delta GDP, due to I, is equal to delta I times the expenditure multiplier. Now I have to write expenditure because I have many multipliers. Expenditure multiplier, which is equal to 2000 times 8, which is equal to 16,000. Okay? So this is my delta GDP due to I. Try to do the next one. I hope you did. So delta G now. Delta G is equal to G ET1 minus G at BEP, which is equal to, again, 2000 minus 1, minus 0, which is equal to 2000. Okay? So delta GDP due to G is equal to delta G, it's not divided, it's just a division of the screen. Okay, I'm gonna do like this. Delta G times expenditure multiplier, which is equal to 2000 times 8, which is equal to 16,000. Okay? Now comes the tax. Same number, but not the same result. Okay? Let me check. Yeah, I did it here. So, delta T, that's the one I'm studying right now. I'm going to put delta GDP GPG here in black. Now delta T is equal to T at the tax at E1 minus the tax at BEP. The tax at BEP is already gone, which is equal to 2000 minus 0, which is equal to 2000. Okay, now delta GDP due to tax is equal to delta T times the tax multiplier, and that's where it's different, which is equal to 2000 times 7. Okay? Times 7. That's where you have the difference. Okay? So delta GDP due to T is equal 2000 times 7, 14,000. So even though you have the same numbers, the tax has a different effect, a smaller effect than the others, and more than the amplitude of the effect, it's going to actually decrease your GDP instead of increasing it. Okay? So I'm going to apply this formula. GDP at ET1 is equal to GDP at BEP plus delta GDP due to I plus delta GDP due to G minus delta GDP due to tax. Okay? If you have an increase in tax, you're going to have a decrease in GDP. Okay? So here it's going to be equal to 8,000 plus 16,000, which is delta GDPI, plus 16,000, which is delta GDPG, minus 14,000, which is your delta GDPT. Okay? So GDP ET1, GDP ET1 is equal to, and I calculated it already, 26,000. Yeah. Okay, guys? Done? Take a screenshot. And I'm going to give you some questions. A little homework? Or do I do it right away? A little homework. I hope you understood. Can I move on? I'm going to delete this. I'm going to delete all this. Here we go. So, question, the next question, question 8. We're continuing the same exercise we have done in the quiz simulation, okay? So, question 8. So determine GDP at ET1. ET1, you already have the answer. You have I ET1 is equal to 2000. G ET1 is equal to 2000. And T ET1 is equal to 2000, but now I want it from E2. Okay? I'm going to give you the data if you don't want to go back to the exercise. At E2, what I had GDP E2 was equal to 18,400. IE2 was equal to 1,000. Let me see. I don't have the data in here. Come on, Amy. Yeah, IE2 was 1,000 and GE2 was 300. Okay? You have to find exactly the same GDP as we have found before. If you find a different GDP, you have a mistake. Okay? So your result is going to be 26,000. Done for this one. Now question 9. It's simply determine GDP ET2. Now you're going to have to find the difference in tax. ET2 where, okay, I have I is equal to 500. IET2 is equal to 500. GE2 is equal to 3,000. And tax at E2, it's not E2, it's ET2. It's equilibrium with tax, the second one. Okay, is equal to 1,000. And here you're gonna have to find it from starting ET1. Good luck to you guys. And next week, we're gonna study the open economy multiplier. If you have any problem, you do this and then you WhatsApp me, okay? I'm gonna be there waiting for your messages so that I can correct with you, okay? If you have any problem. Good? Clear? Love you guys. Bye-bye.